money, that put it on the credit cards, that took out loans, that flew to Las Vegas and bought tickets, and for the main event to end like that was such a disappointment. It really was.
I'm a bit sad for that, for everybody. Just shitting it. Like, he worked his way back from having a broken leg, now he's injured again. Bad for Max as well. Max is prepared for a big fight. It's not really happened. He's still won technically, but you won't want to win like that. So, yeah.
The MMA world is still trying to process the disappointing ending to UFC 329. What was supposed to be one of the biggest nights in recent UFC history came to a sudden halt when Conor McGregor suffered a shocking injury early in the main event. Fans had waited years to see McGregor return, and many believed the matchup against Max Holloway had all the ingredients to become an instant classic. Instead, the fight ended before it could truly develop, leaving thousands of fans frustrated and disappointed. Across social media, many supporters expressed their anger, with some even calling for refunds after the highly anticipated main event failed to deliver the action everyone expected. The abrupt ending transformed what should have been a historic celebration into one of the most controversial and debated UFC events of the year.
Win is a win, you know. A couple people got wins over me that kind of pissed me off, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they're gonna go down and look in the history books. They're just gonna look at a piece of paper and see a W or L next to your name. So that's what I'm taking it at.
Max Holloway accepted the result without hesitation, even though the circumstances surrounding the victory were far from ideal. Speaking after the event, Holloway acknowledged that nobody wants to win a fight because of an injury. However, he also pointed out that professional fighting is a results-based business, and the official record will forever show the outcome as a victory in his favor. Holloway explained that throughout his own career he has experienced difficult losses, controversial decisions, and disappointing moments that he could not change. Because of that experience, he understands that once a fight is over, the result becomes part of history regardless of how it happened. While he sympathized with McGregor's situation, he remained focused on moving forward and continuing his own journey.
Confident going into the fight, but then when the fight came out, he looked nervous a little bit to me. He looked very tense, you know, right?
The walkout
right
was strange, right? The walkout was very strange.
Yeah. I was like different. That was a difference. You know, it was different. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Did he hurt himself right before when he was taking his shoes off? Somebody said he did some kind of jump. I don't recall, but somebody said that he might have hurt his knee at that time. You know, and then of course we did that flying. The flying kick, I heard it worse. Obviously, you could see it because slow motion. You could see the knee give in just at that one spot where, you know, I'm in justice. My heart went, damn.
Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier raised serious questions about McGregor's future. Following another major injury setback, Cormier admitted he is no longer convinced that McGregor will successfully make another comeback. While he acknowledged that McGregor remains the biggest star in MMA history, he wondered whether fans would still be willing to emotionally invest in yet another return attempt. According to Cormier, repeated injuries and long periods of inactivity have made the situation increasingly complicated. He suggested that if someone asked him whether McGregor would fight again, he would be more likely to predict that it will not happen than that it will. Despite those doubts, Cormier made it clear that he still respects everything McGregor has accomplished throughout his legendary career. At the same time, veteran coach Javier Mendez offered a different perspective. Mendez praised McGregor for having the courage and dedication to return after spending 5 years away from competition. He explained that regardless of personal opinions, returning to the highest level of combat sports after such a long absence requires tremendous commitment. Mendez described the injury as a cruel and unfortunate ending for a fighter who worked incredibly hard to get back into the octagon.
Max just got an insane payday. The thing that sucks for Max, though, it's like he had it one of the craziest training camps that he's ever had, the most money he's ever going to make, and he still made it. But it's just, you almost feel guilty. It was kind of the same thing with Patty. Patty went out there and at least subbed him, looked fucking sick. But you almost feel guilty because you're not hurt. Your hands don't hurt. Your face doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts. I bet Max is just like, what the fuck? I would be, if I was in Max's position, I'm sure I'd be so, like, you're grateful, you're blessed, everything's great, but you didn't get to go out there and do what you love to do. You didn't get to go out there and perform. You didn't go out there and show the world how good you are. It looked fucking good. It looked like he went out there and threw that kick. If Conor was compromised, if his knee hurt going into the fight, he doesn't come out and throw that kick. You just don't come out and jump off your leg and land on your other compromised knee that's already hurt. For everyone to say Conor's knee's already hurt, and he was that sounds ridiculous. To me, it's just, he didn't seem like it looked like a freak accident. This is just, freak accidents happen. Unfortunately, it happened on the biggest, absolutely most insane card most insane comeback of all time, freak shit happens, and that looked like that freaky shit happened.
Of how the foot is externally rotated, the idea that we see a little bit of the knee going inward, the trunk is leaning over his injured side. But what you don't see on this injury is the classic pivot shift that you will sometimes see with an ACL tear. Now that doesn't mean that this is not an ACL tear, but you at least don't see that stereotypical kind of pathognomonic shift forward of the tibia and then pop backwards like we would if you could confirm 100% that this was an ACL.
Mendes expanded on those thoughts by saying that every fighter deserves the chance to win or lose based on performance rather than injury. In his view, McGregor earned the right to find out whether he could still compete at the elite level, but unfortunately fate had other plans. He also praised Holloway for the way he handled the situation afterward. Rather than celebrating excessively or mocking his opponent, Holloway showed respect and understanding. Mendes believes that response reflected the character of a true champion and demonstrated why Holloway is one of the most respected figures in the sport today. The coach noted that moments like these reveal far more about an athlete than victories alone.
During the fight, what is your take on ultimately what happened with Conor McGregor and what happened with his name?
You know, it's to me, it's like to have a warrior like him train as hard as he did after a 5-year layoff and come back, and to have something like that happen, your heart has to go out to the guy. Look, I may not like him as a person at times, but I have to respect what a great warrior he is. And to see him go out that way is not the way I would want anyone to go out. You'd want them to go out with, doing what they came out there to do, perform. Either the other man was the better man or you were the better man, but he beat himself on that one. And that's the one that I feel for him, because that's not something that I would want for anybody, and he deserved to either become victorious or lose to Max, but that's the way.
As expected, speculation quickly exploded online regarding McGregor's physical condition before the fight. Some fans became convinced that he had entered the cage carrying an undisclosed injury and simply pushed through in order to compete. Videos and screenshots from Fight Week circulated widely across social media, with supporters pointing to various moments they believed showed signs of discomfort. However, UFC President Dana White strongly rejected those claims. White stated that there was no evidence suggesting McGregor entered the contest injured and emphasized that the UFC's medical protocols are designed to prevent fighters from competing with serious undisclosed conditions. According to White, everything indicated that McGregor was healthy enough to compete before the injury occurred during the fight itself.